Good morning, I'm Travis Danraj with your national and international headlines, and we begin with new developments in the investigation into the doomed Ukrainian airliner. Iranian officials have released their initial report into the crash. Our Europe correspondent Redmond Shannon joins us now from London with the very latest. Redmond, thanks for joining us again. What do we know about the investigation so far, and what went wrong?
Well, Travis, yes, as you say, Iranian investigators have now released their initial findings from this crash. And what they're saying is that this aircraft, the 737-800, appeared to turn right to veer back toward the airport in the moments after it took off from Tehran International Airport. The debris field that was located almost to the north of Tehran was somewhat to the east of where it had stopped transmitting data, indicating that it had turned around and tried to come back. Investigators are also saying that fire was involved, that they believe that the aircraft was on fire, perhaps an engine fire, and that is something that, of course, tallies with some eyewitnesses who say they saw the aircraft head toward the ground. Now, in the last few hours, Ukrainian investigators have headed to the site too. We believe they are now on site working together with Iranian investigators on the ground. A team of 45 arrived from Ukraine just a few hours ago.
You know, Redmond, there's been so much speculation due to the timing of this crash that there could be connections to the conflict between Iran and the United States. Is that still a major concern right now?
Well, I think it's a case of not ruling anything out, even though the Iranian investigators are indicating this was a technical fault. The Ukrainian investigation team, who was headed there as well, said it's considering everything, and that would consider a mid-air collision as well as perhaps a missile strike, terrorism, that would mean perhaps a bomb on board, and an engine fire. They're looking at all possibilities. And of course, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke in the wake of this crash yesterday, and he perhaps hinted at that possibility of the missile strike involved in this tragedy. Take a listen to part of what he had to say yesterday.
This somber day comes in the wake of deeply concerning events in Iraq. Canada condemns the missile attacks launched by Iran last night.
So that's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau speaking yesterday, and after that statement that he gave, he was asked, could he categorically rule out the possibility of a missile strike? Well, he said no, but of course, that's just not being able to rule it out. And there is no direct categorical evidence to prove that there was any missile strike against the aircraft in this incident. Now, earlier today, President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine visited Kiev airport to pay respects to the crew of the aircraft and to all the passengers who died, including 63 Canadians. And he spoke in the aftermath of that, assuring people that Ukraine is doing everything it can and saying that speed is of the essence, but that accuracy is far more important. He says his own country is going through an information war, and that what people see online, that rumours shouldn't be listened to, and that people should wait for the investigation to be complete.
So this initial report, Redmond, from the Iranians is out right now, but looking ahead to the coming weeks, it's likely going to take a very long time for this investigation to wrap up. What will investigators be looking for?
Well, I think the big thing here, Travis, as always in any crash investigation, is the black boxes, the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder. They are the key to any aircraft investigation, aircraft crash investigation. They will tell us perhaps why there was no emergency call, perhaps pilots were struggling to get the plane under control in the last moments, and they will tell us what flight data was being pumped out by the aircraft in that time. Also, investigators will be looking at that debris field. How did the aircraft hit the ground? And amongst the debris, of course, are the two engines. The engine is perhaps one of the key focuses of this investigation. What can they find out from that? And finally, of course, witnesses, those eyewitnesses on the ground. What did they see? And what does that tell investigators about why this tragedy happened, Travis?
Yes, so many questions remain. Redmond Shannon joining us from London this morning. Thank you, Redmond.